Welcome to Becoming a Sleep Consultant. I'm your host, Jane Havens, a certified sleep consultant and founder of both Snooze Fest by Jane Havens and Center for Pediatric Sleep Management. On this podcast, I'll be discussing the business side of sleep consulting. You'll have an insider's view on launching, growing, and even scaling a sleep consulting business. This is not a podcast about sleep training. This is a podcast about business building and entrepreneurship. If the idea of selling your sleep consulting services makes you feel a little bit awkward, anxious, or even a bit icky, you're not alone. On today's episode of the Becoming a Sleep Consultant podcast, I'm joined by social media business coach and strategist, Allison Henderson, who has spent the past 6 years coaching hundreds of sleep consultants through the very real fear of selling. We're diving into the mindset blocks that hold people back, like the fear of looking stupid, being annoying, or not knowing what to say, and how to actually move past them so that you can show up confidently, connect with families, and grow your business. Allison is sharing what the most successful sleep consultants do differently, how to reframe selling so it feels like helping and not pushing, and practical tips for making offers in a way that feels aligned and authentic. If you've ever avoided posting on social media, second-guessed your content, or struggled to connect with your ideal client, this episode will give you the clarity and confidence you're looking for. Allison, welcome back to the Becoming a Sleep Consultant podcast. As always, I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
So before we get started, tell everybody a little bit about you. I think many of my listeners know who you are, but not everyone. So introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello. So I've been helping sleep consultants help them just run their business and organize their life for the last about 6 years. So I'm mostly a social media business coach, but I also help you if you want to get out there locally and just really learn how to sell and market yourself and put yourself out there. That is the biggest thing that I want you to do. I want you to confidently learn how to sell and market yourself.
Which is perfect because that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. I wanted to have you onto the podcast to have the conversation about why, especially new business owners, but I think this comes up even for those who have been in the biz for a while, like why people are so afraid to sell themselves. Why are people so afraid of selling? I know that you've coached literally hundreds of sleep consultants over the past, I think it's about 6 years. How do you know if someone's going to be successful in their business?
I want them to just have that willingness just to learn how to sell and market themselves. That's the first thing is like, we do have a lot of baggage when it comes to sales, whether it stemmed from childhood, a past job, maybe you joined an MLM, or you have this fear of perfectionism, rejection. Like there's a lot of layers to this. It's not just, I just want to learn how to sell and market myself and I'm going to be really good. It's like, but you're going to be like, okay, but I'm afraid to post this. I'm afraid of what my friends or family are going to say when I actually come out and say, my price is $500 or my price is $1,000. Like there's a lot of things that pop up. But my biggest thing is like, are you willing to learn how to sell and market yourself? Because if you're willing to learn, you're going to be fine in this industry. You are going to kill it. And it's not the best coach that wins. It's the best coach that knows how to sell that wins, unfortunately. And so you could be so good at what you do as a sleep consultant or as a coach, but if you don't show up, you're not going to get the clients, sadly. And like, I hate to say that, but like the ones that I see that come out of my program, or I know that come out of your program that are killing it, are showing up every day. They're talking about their offers. They're asking for money confidently. And yeah, they really want this. There's something inside of them. It's like, I want to make money. I want to help people. Obviously, that's their biggest mission, but like they have that willingness to learn.
Where do you think the fear comes from? I think that is literally everybody's biggest concern is like, I want to get out there and help families. I'm passionate about supporting moms. I am obsessed with healthy sleep hygiene for babies and toddlers. But there's this sort of deep-rooted fear around putting yourself out there. Where do you think that stems from? Why do we feel that way?
There could be a few different reasons. I know mine comes from past trauma with childhood stuff. I I wanted my mom to, pat me on the back for being perfect and for saying things perfectly. So my fear of coming online and not looking perfect or saying things perfect, that was one of my biggest things that I had to deal with when I first started. So this fear of perfectionism. I talk a lot about this in my programs because I think most women overall have this fear. Most people have this fear of, I want to make sure that I'm coming on here and people aren't going to think I look stupid or sound stupid. So I always say too, like you usually have like one or two people in your life that you are in fear of like they're going to be talking behind my back and I'm in a group chat and they're going to say some things about me and all this sort of stuff. Like there's all these things that could be happening subconsciously that you're not even aware of why you decide not to sell and show up. But like I also said earlier too, there's this fear of rejection. Like you don't want to feel bad. You're just protecting yourself. Every time you show up and sell and maybe someone doesn't buy or someone says, no, I don't want this right now, we have this uncomfortable feeling that just takes over our body of like, we make it personal. We make it about us. Like they don't want to hire me specifically. When a lot of times that has nothing to do with it. It's like, no, they might want to really work with you, but maybe they don't have the money or maybe their husband said no. Like there's all these other objections that can come up. But yeah, like there's all these things. We are constantly trying to protect ourselves from not being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think that's right. When I think about when I first got started in this field, the thing that was getting in my way is that I was sort of challenging my own identity because prior to working as a sleep consultant, I had been a stay-at-home mom for about 4 years. And it was really hard for me to admit that I wanted more than being home with my children, which I recognize to be a pretty significant privilege, right? Like I was lucky enough to be home with my children and to feel that that was no longer enough for me, that I wanted more. I wanted to be with my children, but I also wanted to work. I wanted to contribute to our household income. I wanted to challenge my brain. I wanted to do smart things. And I felt bad about the fact that my role as stay-at-home mom didn't feel like enough for me anymore.
Yeah, I think a lot of women don't want to admit that they actually want to run a business. They want to actually be somebody that makes or builds an empire for themselves. I think a lot of us come home, like I was the same way as you, Jane, just so you know, like I quit my job. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but I also knew I wanted to work. There was definitely something inside me that's like, I just got to find my thing. I want to find my purpose. But there was a time there, yeah, I was staying at home and I was like, okay, but like now I want to do this thing. And I had that guilt that came up of like, but I don't actually want to just hang out with my kids all day. Like I want to, I knew business was really fulfilling to me. Like every time I was getting on calls with women and when I first started, I was life coaching a lot. So these women that were starting businesses, like, yes, I want to talk about that. That's what fuels me. That's what, when I wake up in the morning, I'm so excited to get into my office and coach. Like this is really what lights me up. So always like I am very spiritual in the sense of like you have a soul path and like when things start to excite you, like that's how you know you're on your soul path. Like this is what I need. It's meant for me. Like I know. So all of you right now, if you're listening to this and like you are a sleep consultant, you're thinking about becoming a sleep consultant and this excites you, like you are on your soul path. Like there's something along this path or along this journey that is meant for you. You are meant for this. So if this right now is exciting to you, just know like that guilt that might come up, like you gotta like, I don't want to say release it in a sense, but just know if you keep moving towards what you really want to be doing, you're gonna find ways like, and I guess I like to think of my kids as like a spiritual, in a spiritual way too, of like, they chose me as their mom in this lifetime for a reason. Like, so maybe they chose a working mom. Maybe they wanted to have money. Like they didn't want a mom that was like constantly like, we got a budget, we got a penny pinch. It's like, no, when moms have money, amazing things can happen. Right. So I have no shame around this anymore. Like I love being a working mom and my kids are literally downstairs right now. Like they're home. They're like,
Same.
they're with us.
Same.
My
My kids are
husband's
home today
outside.
too.
Yeah. Like they're here. Like I obviously have older kids and I know you have older kids too. So it's much easier for us to just say, hey, peace out for a little bit. Mom has to record an interview. But yeah, like I had to release it. I wanted, and I had to say this out loud, I didn't want to just be a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to build a business. So with that comes, I got to figure out sitters or I got to figure out daycare. I have to really sit with my husband and go, how can we make this work? Like, he's also an entrepreneur. I know your husband maybe has more of a flexible schedule too, but like, we had to sit and talk like, hey, these are my hours. I gotta work. And so, I love having that conversation with myself of being like, it's okay to want more. So if you're listening to this, it's giving you that permission to say, it's okay to want more for yourself. It's okay to not, I don't want to say in quotes, like just be a stay-at-home mom, but like, because it's so much more than that, but it's okay if you don't want that anymore.
Yeah. So for people who are thinking about becoming sleep consultants or maybe are in the beginning stages of growing their businesses, what would you say to them as far as building that confidence around
Mm,
showing up to sell yourself?
mm,
Because I think it really does stem from a place of maybe lack of confidence. How do we build that confidence to help people realize
mm.
that they are capable of this and that actually
Yeah.
it really does feel kind of good once you get good at it?
I was going to say that. Yeah, it comes with practice. Let's be real. You got to try. You got to at least try it and not try for a week, like 6 months, a year, 2 years. Like, it does take time to build up your confidence. And then your nervous system starts to relax once you start to realize, okay, nobody's coming at me. No one's yelling at me. No one's in the comment section, like literally picking all my gray hair out. Like, they're not doing that. Like, I promise you, like, you can come on and be authentic. You can come on in your messy mom bun and your leggings. Like, there's really no one's. I know that I say this. I already said this. But like, the people that you're afraid that they're going to judge you, they're already judging you. Like, they're already judging you secretly. So why not just come on the internet and be yourself? Like, the weird, quirky, awkward people are the best at selling. They're the best at being magnetic to the right people. Like, almost like the weirder you are, the better, because people naturally gravitate. Like, we gravitate towards those sort of people all the time. It's not the perfect people in the blazers and the suits. I mean, unless you want that sort of lifestyle. But I know most people don't. They just want an authentic mom. Then they want to work with the authentic mom that like is in the trenches too, and that gets what they're going through. When it comes to sales and the psychological aspect around sales, we want to work with people that are just like us, that we can relate to, or there's like a part of them that we really like envy. Like, maybe it's the energy. Everyone always like, oh, Allison, I love your energy. It's like, great, awesome. Come in my coaching container. I can help you become more of who you want to become. Like, so every time that someone's like, oh, I am really afraid to show my face or afraid to show up on social media, like, you won't know until you try. Action helps you build your confidence. And once again, your nervous system will start to relax once you realize like no one's going to come at you for having a, spit up on your shirt because, you were like hanging out with your baby all morning. Like, it's going to be okay. And if you are somebody who really lacks self-confidence overall, like, okay, well, then there's definitely some other things that you might need to really dig deeper of, like, maybe you don't find yourself beautiful. Maybe you don't find yourself pretty. Like, those are certain things that, like, your identity or what you believe in yourself, those are the things that need to change. And so cleaning up your thoughts and your belief system, and like we call it like limiting, like what are those limiting beliefs that are stopping you from really being your true self? And so, like I said, we have this soul path, and like, follow those things that excite you, follow those things, but also what are the thoughts that come up while you're building your business or while you're having, if you are thinking about becoming a sleep consultant right now, like, what are those thoughts that you have? What are those fears? Sit with a piece of paper or sit with a therapist, sit with somebody that's a good friend of yours and like talk it out. Because so many times we just sit with the fear or we sit with the thoughts, but we don't change them. I had a client yesterday. She's like, I wish this, I wish that. And I'm like, what if we just, instead of saying I wish, we just had that? So like, or we thought that instead. So there's like all these things. I'm like, we got to clean up your thoughts so that you can actually become. And when we become the person that we want to actually be, we start making a lot more money, right? We start attracting a bigger tribe of people. We start being more magnetic. And there's just an energy about you that when you come on social media, people just gravitate towards.
I love that you said that you have to try for 6 months, for a year, for 2 years.
Yeah.
Last week's podcast was an interview with a CPSM grad. Her name's Jamie Hoff. And we spoke about how it took Jamie about 6 months to get into a regular pattern where she just had 1 to 2 clients a month. And I think a lot of people who are not Jamie would have perhaps given up on themselves maybe 3 months in, 4 months in, 5 months in, but Jamie didn't. because she was passionate about her work. She understood that her efforts were leading her to somewhere, that she was mastering her craft, she was gaining her confidence. And at that 6 month mark is when she really felt like her business started to grow. And I think that that most likely coincided with her confidence really blooming, right? She all of a sudden started to show up in a way in her business that invited people into her universe. And now I think it's a year and a half in, she's supporting 5 to 8 families a month. She talks like a total boss. She knows what she's doing. We cannot expect to start something and on day one be the king of the castle. Like it's just not how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we immediately get the certification or like we get that education that we need to get started and immediately think, oh, my business is going to blow up. I remember having notebooks that said, I'm making 80,000 this month because, that's what I'm seeing online. I'm seeing all these people killing it. So like even that fear of like that comparison of like, I'm seeing her do it. Why isn't my business blowing up? Like, why don't I have clients? And what I love about Jamie is like, she needed that. And I don't know this for a fact, by the way. I do know Jamie, but I guess I'm not trying to quote her. But like some people need that experience of coaching, right? To know I can get my clients results and then we can start showing up differently. Like I remember those first few testimonials I got where I'm like, yeah, I got this. Like my clients are getting results. I needed that. Then I was way more confident coming on social media, being like, you see these results? This is exactly what I can teach you, or this is how your life or your business can be if you join my programs. So like sometimes we do need those first like 10 clients or even 50 clients to really feel that confidence of like, I know I can do this. And it's not that you need more education or whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, she actually said that on the podcast. She said that a turning point for her was that when she started getting those positive reviews, those written testimonials from her clients who were paying her full price, because she started off offering some discounts and doing pro bono work. But once she started charging her full rate, getting the positive reviews from those clients who were paying her full price, that's when she's like, you know what? This work that I'm doing, this is really something. Like people are willing to pay me what I'm worth and they're really pleased with the result and they're telling everybody, right? Like that is, I think, when the transformation starts to happen. I love that that was your story too. Let's
Yeah.
talk about some practical ways that sleep consultants can sell their services that maybe don't feel salesy. Do you have any quick tips, strategies for how people can show up, whether it's online or off, in a way, sort of beginner style? Like what's the gateway strategy to show up when you're feeling insecure?
Well, my big thing that I help all of my sleep consultants that come through my program is like, what is your tangible outcome? Like, what is that thing that you actually are helping them achieve? Because this is the elevator pitch, right? This is the thing that when you meet a mom at a park or you're even at an event or maybe you are just chatting with somebody in the DMs, like, what is that thing that you're actually going to help them do? I love ChatGPT, don't get me wrong, but they are very generic sometimes with like, what do you actually help your clients achieve? It's not, I help you get a peaceful night's sleep. Like that's very generic. I'm very much into getting so specific. And I'll tell you 3 questions that I always ask myself with content creation and everything. But like, what is that tangible outcome? So it could be, I help you get your baby 10 plus hours of sleep every night so I love using the word so that what could happen? So that you can have more me time, so that you can have more date nights with your spouse, so that you could sit and read a book and have a hot bath every single night, whatever that is. Like, I want you to really think about what do they really desire, but also what are some things they don't want to do? So I help you get your baby 10 plus hours sleep every night without, that's also something you can do, without what? Without using the cry it out method, without having to pat, hold, or rock your baby to sleep every night. Like there's a lot of things that these people don't want to be doing anymore. So for me, that's like sales 101. Like really think about your ideal client. What is that outcome that you know you can provide? Like your dream client, if they follow that step by step, they followed your plan, what is that outcome they're likely going to receive? Yeah, it's not everybody's going to get that, right? Like, and I know with babies, it's like not everybody's going to get 10 plus hours of sleep, but like if that's like 99% of your clientele is probably going to get this result, then that's what you say. That's what you're going to say. Know your result when you meet somebody in person or you're meeting somebody even in the DMs or an email, like what is that result you're going to provide for them? Okay. So that's That's number one. The second thing I always like to help people with when it comes to sales is like actually being specific. Like that's one thing I'm working on in my group program right now. I have a group program called Making Moves, and like we're getting so deep into content creation and like their websites and their sales pages, and it's understanding that people need specifics in order for them to get clarity, right? So even like with the peaceful nights, like what does that actually mean? So that's like one of your first questions, like what do I actually mean by peaceful nights? Really, and like draw a picture or paint that picture for that mom right now. A peaceful night could be like I said earlier, like taking a hot bath, having a hot cup of tea before bed, being able to read for 2 or 3 hours, watching Netflix with your spouse, whatever that is, like paint the picture. So my second question, so the first one is, what do I actually mean by that? The second one is, what's an example of that? So I know it's in sleep consulting, you guys say sleep associations all the time.
Yeah.
What's an example of that? Come on, people, we can't use, I say industry jargony words all the time. Like, I don't want you sounding like a textbook. Yes, they are probably in Jane's program. It does say sleep associations. But what does Jane mean by that? So really paint that picture, because if we're using these words that they don't understand, like this normal mom, like I always say, you're going to talk like you're speaking to a fifth grader. Like, how would you explain sleep associations to them? So that's the second one. What's an example of that? And then the third question I always ask is, how might this show up in this mom, right? This mom's everyday real life, right? So when she says, oh, we had an early morning wake, right? Early wakings, cool. But like, let's actually paint that picture a bit. You woke up at 5 a.m. Your baby was cranky and crying. You immediately went to the coffee pot, turned it on. You had to change your baby's diaper. You maybe ate a quick little breakfast and just decided to sit, but your baby's like crawling all over you, crying, cranky, and like, well, like paint what is her morning actually like because her baby woke up at 5 a.m., right? So those three questions, what's an example of that? What do I actually mean by that? And how might this show up in this mom's everyday real life? That's going to help you a lot with sales. Okay. And content is really big for me. Like, obviously, this is a big part of social media, right? That's a big piece of the puzzle. And so when we have really good content and we're really specific, sales become so much more natural, because you can literally just say, this is what I can offer you. This is how your life could change, or these are the things that you're experiencing right now. Like, we always are buying based off of an emotional need or an emotional want, right? Like, either I want to feel this way or I don't want to feel this way anymore. So in your content, that it's so easy to actually talk about that. And so at the end, though, guess what? You're literally going to have a call to action, and you're going to say, hey, I can help you with this. Like, do you want to, and you come back to your tangible outcome there, right? If you want to get your baby sleeping 10 plus hours a night without having to rock, hold, or feed them to sleep, send me a DM today or something, or click the link in my bio to book that 15-minute discovery call. That's sales. It doesn't have to be complicated. Like, to me, that's very soft selling right there. Like, you're literally just painting this picture and you're saying, if you don't want to feel this way anymore, and these are the results that you want, send me a DM. Okay. But also too, like, you can just post a testimonial, and on the next, this could be a story or something, like on the next slide, it could be a little poll that says like, do you want results? It could be so simple. I think we just make sales so hard. And I always say this too, of like, sales is just presenting an opportunity. That's all this is. Like, you have this beautiful gift of this knowledge that you have. Like, what a waste for you not to share that, right? Like, you're doing everyone a disservice by not talking about this offer or all this knowledge that you have. So really, to me, whenever I come on and I have like that, that like bubble up of emotions of, oh, if I post this, what are people going to say? I just go, what I offer is a gift. Like, read a testimonial, go back to a testimonial if you need to. Like, I know I can get my clients these results. I know I can do it. You're going to post it. And then this is when I'm like, this is when sales becomes easy, because you get people DMing you, or you're at an event even, and like people are signing up for your email list and following you on Instagram or joining your Facebook group. And you can talk like, hey, I know you remember me from that event. Like, they already have some sort of connection with you. And sales to me is like making that connection, talking about that outcome that you're going to help them achieve, and saying, would you like this? Like, having the guts to say, are you looking for support with this?
Yeah. And I think for brand new sleep consultants who don't yet have a ton of experience, they haven't worked with a ton of families, they can't point to 40 different stories where they have gotten somebody a really incredible outcome. I think it's always helpful to go back to your own why, whether it's the transformation that you had with your own children, or even we train a lot of sleep consultants who don't even have children of their own, but they have some sort of connection to the parenting space in one way or another, whether they're nannies or postpartum doulas. And I really do believe that everyone has a story that they can share. You know, for a postpartum doula who doesn't have children of their own, they can still share a story about the little 12-week-old that they just wrapped up with. And when they started with that family, the baby was doing A, B, and C. And when they wrapped up with the family, the baby was doing X, Y, and Z, and how transformative that was. And I think everybody can dig in and share either a personal story, a story of a friend's, a sister-in-law. You know, everybody's got a story. And I think if you can just talk about what you do in a way that connects like heart to heart, I don't know, I sort of think that's all it takes. Like everybody just wants to hear like, wow, that was amazing. And I don't know, we all have stories like that. Even if they're like seemingly so small, you know, like the story that I tell all the time is how my son, who was a great little sleeper, went from sleeping all night to needing a pacifier every single hour. And, you know, it wasn't much. Pop the passy in 12, 1, 2, 3, all night long. And then one day I decided to implement some sleep training, and 27 minutes later, he was sleeping and slept through the night pretty much every night since. And like, what an amazing story. It's so simple, but like people connect with that.
Mm-hmm. You can always start there until you start getting some clients, and then you have actual like before and after stories, right? It doesn't have to be like this hard thing that you maybe are making it out to be. It could just be you sharing a story and at the end saying, do you want results like this? Send me a DM.
Yeah, just making the ask. Let me go back to the mindset piece for a second, because I think that is trickier than the action, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we could give you 10 or 100 different things that you could do to sell your sleep consulting business. That's, I think, the easy part. The hard part is the person who is maybe listening to this conversation and feeling completely overwhelmed with the idea
Mm-hmm.
of taking that first step. What would you say to the person who just is like stuck in their mind?
We just live in such an amazing time in history where we have like information at our fingertips, and it literally they spit out questions, they spit out information within seconds. So I'm very much just like, I know the mindset piece of like, I'm feeling like really stuck right now. I guess ask yourself why. What is like the deep underlying, the root of why you don't want to start this today? Are you afraid of being busy? Like I know some moms they're already really busy. So them being like, oh, I have to also help a client or 5 clients right now. Like you have to really understand the deep root of what's going on. Like one of my clients, she's kind of having a slow month, and I go, but maybe is there like something inside you that you kind of wanted a slow month because you had a really busy month last month? Like there's always something. I'm like, ask yourself some of these questions. Like, why aren't you showing up in the way that you were a month ago? And some of it's literally like, yeah, I'm already really busy. And like you giving me 5 more clients right now would really make me more overwhelmed. Right. But also too, like maybe you have a fear of talking about money. Like that might be a big thing too. You don't even talk about money in your household. So what makes you think that you can talk about money with clients, right? Or within your own business? There's a lot of different things where I'm like, so you got to get curious. Everyone has like their own story. They all have their own deep, like a mindset. I don't want to say it's a mindset issue, but it could be. It's not just sometimes a strategy issue. Sometimes it's like, I have a fear of looking stupid. I don't want people to really think that I'm dumb. Yeah, you're going to be showing up on social media. People might have that thought about you. So, okay, like I always say, like, what's the worst case scenario? Like, what if Aunt Betty thinks that you look stupid or you sound dumb? Really think about it. Are you going to stop your business because your aunt doesn't like how you show up on video? By the way, like the first few times you show up on video is going to be cringy. Oh my God, guys, it's going to be so cringy. And it's okay. It's okay. You got to get through your cringy phase. And I think once you get through the cringy phase, things start to feel a lot more natural for you. But you just gotta try. You gotta try. So I hope I answered your question, Jane.
Yeah. Well, I think it's actually I think that what you said is sort of spot on because I think the same way that sometimes when we talk to moms and they say they can't afford it about working with us, they don't, it's not that they actually can't afford it, it's that they're scared to do it or they don't want to ask their spouse. Like they literally don't even want to ask their husband. I had somebody on a call the other day. I actually asked that both parents be on the call, if it's a two-parent household. And the mom said to me, like, my husband doesn't have anything to do with this. Like, it's all like I'm the decision maker, blah, blah, blah. And usually I push back on that, but I just didn't for one reason or another. And so I let her get on the call and we had a great call and she wanted to hire me and she didn't. And I followed up with her today and I was like, "Hey, I was totally expecting you to sign on to work together. What happened? Is there something getting in the way?" And she said, turns out my husband's not as supportive as I thought he was. Like, so like sometimes it's not what you think is the objection is different than what you think. And I think it's the same thing when people say that they're afraid of sales or they're afraid to put themselves out there. Maybe it's not really that. Maybe it's not that they're afraid to put themselves out there. Maybe it's that they're afraid that they're gonna not make any money, or maybe it's they're afraid that they won't be able to help people, right? Like there's actually lots of reasons for why you might be really scared to show up that aren't really about showing up. And so I agree with you. I think that we need to like dig deep into what's keeping us stuck so that we can move forward. I tend to not struggle with this personally. So when I see people struggling with this, I have a hard time relating because I'm the type of person that's just like, just try, just try, just try. I try all the time. I literally try 50 times a day. Like all I do is I try all day long. And sometimes I succeed and sometimes I don't. And sometimes it's a hot mess and sometimes I learn something along the way. But I am the type of person that like tries, 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 tries. And I'm not afraid of things not going well because that's just a part of trying. And so I think that, the mindset piece is really like you have to get to a place where you're comfortable trying. And as you said, you have to get to a place where you really realize what's keeping you stuck. Because if you blame something that's not really the thing, then you're not able to move past it because you're telling yourself a story that isn't really true.
Mm. Yeah. I loved how you explained that. That was so true. Yeah, you got to try. You have to be willing to fail. I don't know any successful business owner that has not failed 100 times. Like they tried, they failed, they pivoted, they moved things around, like whatever. You gotta at least try and not just try for a week. Like I tried once, I posted that one thing and it didn't work. It's like post it 100 times and tell me it didn't work. Like I really want you giving it your all and for months, if not years. Like I know there's so many business owners like I did that for 10, like almost a decade before I actually blew up my business. Like the overnight successes that we all see, there was so much work that had to be done before that. And a lot of the cringy work, like the stuff that was so uncomfortable, but they did it anyway because they had the why. They had something that they were striving towards. And I think that is a big piece of all this too. Of like, if you do want to be able to stay home with your kids, but still make 5 to 10,000 or more a month, whatever that is for you, or if you're just somebody, I love just my lifestyle is like, I love going on vacations. Like, I love being able to save up my money and do whatever I want to do. When moms have money, like I said, magical things happen. Like, we get to do all kinds of fun stuff. So, yeah, that's always something for me is like, what is my why? Why am I waking up every day? Why am I coming into my office? Why am I selling? Why am I asking for money? Like, what is that thing for you? And if you don't know, that's fine. Like your purpose and your intention can change as you grow your business. Like when I first started, I just wanted to make some money so I could be home with my kids. And then it evolved over time and you will evolve. Like you're going to grow as a business owner, but as a mom, as a wife, whatever, whoever that you are, like you're going to evolve. Your story is going to change and that's not a bad thing. So who I was, a year ago is definitely different from who I am today. And so you're always allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to pivot, but a lot of it's, yeah, getting a little uncomfortable, acknowledging some things that are happening within you, like in your mind of like, these are the beliefs that I keep carrying. I don't need to believe that anymore. I can choose to do something else. Like I used to think, oh, building a business is so hard. It's just so hard. What if this actually was easy? What if I was able to live an easy life? And so now I feel like a lot of things are just in the flow. Like I just kind of like live my life. Like I have this intention of I want to live my life easily and I want to be happy. I want to be fulfilled. So that's all the universe kind of throws at me now. And yes, I have challenges just like everybody else and struggles. And I have thoughts that still come to me that's like, ah, and I acknowledge the thought and I go, well, what would be a more positive thought here? Everything's not happening to me. It's happening for me. Your business is going to be the best form of self-development because it's going to make you ask questions about yourself that no one will ever ask you. Like you're going to have to ask yourself. It's like, why am I feeling this way right now? We're like, I'm feeling a little wonky. I'm feeling like this isn't something I like. But why am I feeling this? Ask, get to the root, do the best to your ability to get to that root cause. And it's okay to still feel that way. It's not like you're getting rid of like that pain or that feeling or that challenge, but at least like, you know where it's coming from. And so the next time it happens, you're a lot more prepared, or you at least go, oh, I need to, you know, if it's like imposter syndrome or something, like, I don't know if I can get my clients' results. Like, okay, well, what would be the next logical step for me to get through this? Okay, I need to get some clients. I need to actually try to get my clients' results. So if I have 10 testimonials, I'm going to feel so much better. This imposter syndrome hopefully will start to go away the more that I build that confidence within myself to get my clients' results. So hopefully that helps a bit when it comes to like feeling the pain in a sense of like feeling that uncomfortableness. Like it's okay. Just acknowledge it and try to dissect it a little bit. Don't just completely ignore it, but sit with your thoughts and your feelings for a bit and go, why am I feeling this? What's really happening here?
And it gets so much easier over time, right? Like the way that you described that now your business feels easy and you're in a flow. I feel that way too. I mean, I am in such a flow. My business just happens. And yes, things are hard. I come up against challenges. I get thrown curveballs, but they don't rock me the way that maybe they would have 5+ years ago, because with experience, I think comes sturdiness and confidence. And, you know, you have to put in the time and the work to get there. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
You nailed it, Jane. You nailed it.
Where can people learn more from you? Share whatever you'd like to share.
Sure. I hang out on Instagram mostly at Allison Henderson _coach. I also have my own podcast called The Ambitious Coach. So if you want to come and learn a lot more, I am posting episodes almost every single week. And yeah, that's where I'd come hang out with me for free. And if you want to like actually get into my coaching world, just send me a DM and I'll tell you what I have going on. I'm constantly posting about all my opportunities because at the end of the day, I just want to help you. And I want you to make a lot more money. So that's my big goal for all of you.
Amen to that. I love having you in my circle. Can't wait to do this again soon. Thank you as always. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Becoming a Sleep Consultant podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much to me if you would rate, review, and subscribe. When you rate, review, and subscribe, this helps the podcast reach a greater audience. I am so grateful for your support. If you would like to learn more about how you can become a certified sleep consultant, head over to my Facebook group, Becoming a Sleep Consultant, or to my website, thecpsm.com. Thanks so much, and I hope you will tune in for the next episode.